Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. We might have a little bit of interruptions. It's not a big deal. We'll work through it if we do. Um, Yesterday was a super busy day. I think today I really am going to try and make myself rest more. I got off here yesterday. Doug had went to pick up a table saw for woodworking, and I asked him if he'd pick up some roasted chicken from a pretty famous place around us. And he did. And I knew it wasn't just for him because it was his birthday. So the first cake I had made him the day before yesterday didn't last, and it wasn't that big. So I made another little cake yesterday for him when he was gone. I made a small round, about like that, raisin spice cake with fluffy caramel frosting. So that really surprised him when he got home. He came in, and you can smell when it's baking in the house, so I figured that my gifts I can give, something I do pretty well, is cook. And I've been watching a lot of cooking recipes lately. I mean, that's something like maybe people have made quite a bit in their life. That spice cake in particular was something that was real popular through our childhood, like, or Doug's and then my generations. He's a little older, but 8 years older. But yeah, that spice cake was like one of the things we would see in the church basement after services. You'd go down and they'd have snacks and different things. Or just, social functions. They are some of the sheet cakes that the old timers would make. So I thought this is going to surprise them because I have stuff to make chocolate, which is probably both our favorite for any kind of dessert, but one of our favorites. Let's probably number one, and then other ones fall into line. But I figured with the raisins in it, we wouldn't feel as bad eating it. And I really didn't, even though I'm allergic to the spices I put in there and the raisins. I was really careful not to have way too much of it. I had a sliver, a small piece, and then went back and got another smaller piece. So it wasn't too bad. Too bad on me. So anyway, yeah. So I did a lot of stuff yesterday. I didn't expect to be baking again, but I thought, well, how sad is that? He's going to get me chicken because I asked for it. And he doesn't have a birthday cake because I made it the day before. Might be the first time I've ever made somebody 2 birthday cakes on their birthday. Yeah, might be. I'm not sure. Might have happened again in the past. Sometime. Could have been too, like around Christmas time, the day before Christmas. I had my oldest son. And then my youngest son is born 3 years and 1 month after that. So their birthdays are less than a month apart. 2 weeks actually. 3 years and 2 weeks. So yeah. Anyway, kind of ironic too, or not. I always had somewhat planned. I wanted 2 boys and a girl. I don't know why. It just seemed like a good number of kids, when I wanted children. I grew most of my childhood and most of my young adult life till I had my children. I wasn't really even going to have kids. It didn't cross my mind, I worked a lot with children. I liked them okay. I just really didn't. When I was a kid, I didn't play with dolls like other kids did, like I'm a mommy type of thing. I was used to taking care of adults, so children really didn't appeal to me like that. It's only one time when I was a little kid I had met a second cousin of mine, not blood, but an adopted second cousin, and it was a little baby, and it was like the coolest little baby because it was freaking laughing, and everybody else around it was all crabby and cold, and here was this pretty little baby just smiling and laughing. That totally made my day. It actually opened my heart to the joy of children. And I, at that time, was taking like Red Cross courses for babysitting and um, uh, all kinds of first aid and stuff like that. So, um, like I say, I was busy working with children, but just really didn't consider them. Yeah, but, that's really what I've been thinking today. People that just spit children out on this planet with no plan of attack towards the entities that are going to get at your children. It's like people don't even realize. It's really hard when you're young. How do you realize that your kids are being pummeled from every angle? How do you protect? I mean, you can't. It's impossible to entirely protect them from everything like that. So, yeah, the world is it's a mess in a lot of ways. But I do believe it's up to us to take the responsibility for the next generations. I don't care whose kids they are, what people they are, where they are from. Not responsibility like I'm one of these Looney Tune freaks that hasn't looked into eons of weather patterns and jet streams on this planet, pushing something that's entirely natural as an unnatural thing, and trying to cover the pollution of their factories with all of their propaganda that it's you or I and our carbon footprint. What a bunch of hooey. It's a bunch of baloney. Like I say, you can go back, I think it was in the 70s, Leonard Nimoy, Spock off of Star Trek, was on the West Coast somewhere in a park talking about the Ice Age, the impending Ice Age. So where to go from the global elite saying that it's and it was in Life magazine. It was plastered all over the media how we were going to be freezing to death in another couple decades, and now everything is melty. But yeah, the sea level never rises or anything, but it's melting. Rest assured, it's nothing natural that has always happened, you know. But they'll tell you something different, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I was just watching a recipe for, there's this Mexican sausage called chorizo. It's got a real distinct, strong flavor, and unless you put it in something like I've made, I think it's called eggs ranchero, with you use salsa and you can put chorizo in there with it. And but the smoking and grilling, he's a southern cook too. Smoking and grilling with AB had made a chorizo gravy over biscuits. It looked good. yeah, you gotta put it in something. When, I didn't even know what it was. When you're a young person, you get something, it's like, okay, what do I do with this? And then you taste it or something, and you're like, well, yuck. Not considering that some things are meant to be just like added into other things, that it's not something that you really want to eat on its own. I wouldn't anyway. I've tried it. It's strong, really strong spices in there. So yeah, it tastes good. You have to have the right stuff with it in order for it to taste good. It's like, I like cilantro, but I wouldn't want to put it on, like, if I'm having like a chef salad. I wouldn't want to put it on like with hard-boiled eggs and tomato. Well, I mean, it would be okay. It would taste good. It would give it kind of a Mexican or Spanish flavoring to it. But then on the other hand, I like red salsa. I had just made some a couple weeks ago with diced tomatoes and jalapenos and onions and cilantro, lime juice, salt, pepper, that type of stuff. So, and that's good. So I'm thinking I got my mind set on eggs ranchero, I think is what it's called. But you take your salsa that you've made, and then you have like corn tortillas, and it's a breakfast dish. So you cook your corn tortilla, and you poach your eggs in the salsa, and then you take the scoop of that with your poached egg and you put it on your corn tortilla, and that's your eggs ranchero for breakfast. Or I'll be making it for supper out of my homemade salsa. So one of these days. So make a couple nice eggs, maybe 3, because if you depends on, some people eat like 3 times a day and snacks or whatever. We eat when we're hungry. It's usually once a day, and just usually don't unless we need the energy to do something. And if you're not burning energy, you might as well fast. Why? If you don't need, like, you really don't need it. If you're just eating to eat, I don't know. A lot of people do. I'm not putting you down. I've struggled with not really, I can't say struggle with my weight. That's not the way to put it. I struggle with my fleshly being of loving to cook and eat. I have a love of cooking. I have a love of um not so much serving other people a meal anymore. I used to like that too, but I don't anymore. It's like, no, if I cook it, you can serve yourself. Or I mean, I'll dish people up, but you know what I mean. It's not a big deal to me if somebody has to plate up their own food, is what I'm saying. It's kind of a normal thing. Apparently, some people don't know that. There's some people that actually um, want others to be like a slave to them. That's not my personality at all. If you take from me, yeah, that's okay, and I'll give freely. It's not a problem. But if you take from me, you're gonna pay for it. I mean, if you just take and expect to take, that's not free. And people will find that out. It's either a give and take, or, I mean, back and forth, mutual with that respect, or you will come out on the short end of the stick, one way or another. It's a fact. I've seen it. I've seen it dozens of times in my life, that people have tried to be shady, come in at me sideways with their bullshit or whatever. they do not get away with it. One way or another, God lets them know. You just messed with the wrong person. I hope you feel that way. I hope you can say, God's got your back. He can say, that's my girl. I'm taking care of her. You thought you just did dirty to her? Oh, well. When something bad happens and you know, when you do something bad to somebody and you get yours, you know, you just know. You might not be listening to God's voice, but you have no choice but to go through what He'll put you through. Thought it was super interesting. And I instinctively knew this, but Hitler, Doug, and Professor Sam Bachman are all born on the same day. And Professor Sam was celebrating his birthday yesterday and today too. So it's one of the days. It's either yesterday or today. I'm thinking yesterday, just like Doug. And just with his talk and the way he talks psychologically about different things in life reminded me of Doug. And I just knew that. I even sent Doug some of his videos and I just knew it instinctively. Isn't that odd? I just did. Like I can look at somebody and I can just pretty much tell you what sign you're born under. Pretty much. There's sometimes I really can't, but yeah, there are qualities or lacking in people that each zodiac sign has their strengths or weaknesses, and I really believe. And even too, you'll have the part of the world you live in, your heritage, your upbringing, all different types of things will play a part in your zodiac sign, even though it may have been developed by the dark force for their implementation of their fake calendars that we're living under. It's still by astronomy and the calendar in the sky, it's still an accurate measurement. It doesn't matter when it came about. When mankind realized the fullness of the star clock up in the sky, you know. So, I mean, it really doesn't take away from, like I tell people, I shared information on the Kabbalion yesterday, or Kabbalah, or the key, or whatever you want to call it. Some beliefs in some Jewish orders, not all, that have some of their beliefs rooted from the Kabbalah, and a lot of Christians or people that believe in God would think, well, why would you look into anything like that? And here is a note on that. There are some beliefs in there if you have actually read it, and I had a copy, and gave it away for good reason to somebody that was into witchcraft. But anyway, to read what even, and I'm not saying I'm totally opposed to anything in either the Q, Ka, Ki, Bala, whatever we want to call it, from any religion, but I'm not totally against it, like teachings from Moses or Abraham or the Freemasons, whoever it could be. So to learn what they're doing and what they're thinking isn't really out of the realm of a knowledge base that a person should have. How can you determine everything in the world with psyche of any given human being and their culture if you don't understand where they're thinking, where their mode of thinking is coming from, you know. So whether or not, if you're reading something, whether or not you practice what you're reading or you're absorbed into what you're reading, or if it's just a reference to where you're going, it might not be an exact fit. You might not be on that same wavelength as somebody else to understand, though, where they are in that place is a good thing in the world. So whether you call yourself Christian, Jew, Muslim, Swahili, whoever, whatever, isn't it cool to understand what somebody else might be doing in their culture? You know, where's their mindset come from when they're talking to you, when they have something to say, they want to impart some kind of wisdom on you, if that is their goal, you know, if. And that's a big thing. What really do most people want? If it's not money or power, recognition, whatever it is, you know, really, each individual. If you can name one thing you want today more than anything, what would that be? I'll tell you mine in a little bit. I'll just let you think on yours for a minute. I can only say mine the way I'm going to say it, and I can't feel any other way about it. But for the people in my country that are a part of the destruction of decent human beings in any way, what I refer to as the dark cabal, because there's a cabal of us light ones too, if we want to talk about what is hidden right in plain sight. Mine is world peace. I know that's a big dream. It's a big dream of a lot of us, though, isn't it? You know? For me, if that's not a person's biggest, first and foremost prayer on this earth, or thoughts or goals, what are we working towards? What really, what is going to benefit every living being on this planet more than anything else? Well, for me, it's to take the people that are treasonous and lock them up. It's not that I need a feeling like to start an entirely new system within our country here of the United States, or anywhere else actually, because they want that one world governance, one world religion, all pan-gender, whatever, you're so confused type of thing that they can tell you anything and you're just going to walk right into it because you're that ignorant. You know, if you're not ignorant of what's going on in the world and who's telling you things, you have a deeper scope, a bigger understanding on how to deal with everybody, you know. So, yeah. So, just a little funny something. There was a video that in the kitchen with Tally Faye, some friend of hers had sent her this little pig. It looks like an egg, only it's got a pig's face, and you put it in with your boiling eggs, and if you want soft boiled, it played like Old MacDonald Had a Farm. If you wanted medium, it played another Farmer in the Dell. And then if you wanted a hard boiled, well done, then you waited till it plays Turkey in the Straw. That cracked me up. It's like Turkey in the Straw. Oh, LOL. That's just funny. That's a cute little gadget, you know. And I've been thinking about soft-boiled eggs too. You know, I used to have these little cups. They were egg cups, you know, for I think, well, when I moved up here, some people went in my house and stole thousands of dollars of worth of my treasures from the years. A lot of it belonging to my children too, you know. It's and memories, mementos, and yeah. Anyway, so I lost a lot of like my kitchen stuff, you know. But um, Doug had a lot of it, and I replaced a lot of it. And I, lucky for me, I brought these pans that I have had. I got them from my adopted mom, but they're a set of steel pans. I have a few left still that are like, God, they gotta be, if they're not 75 years old, I don't know. But they're still the best steel pans. They're excellent. So tough. But I'm just glad that I had the forethought to bring some of the best stuff that I had right away up here. Well, I wanted my cooking stuff, you know. I got most of that, but not all of it. It still sort of bums me out. I have to honestly say, like with my knife set that I had, that was a gift from somebody that I treasured. Um, it's no longer with me. Anyway, whoever uses my knives, I don't wish you well with them. Get it? And I know who has them too, that's the thing, so that's okay. Just keep cutting all that stuff. Yeah, be careful, or not, you know, thief. So, yeah. Anyway, I got a good laugh out of that little um, boiling egg pig called E-Pig, E-Piggy or something. Yeah, that's cute. I really watch Tally Faye. I like her spirit, her personality. She's like colorful. She's um like a take no prisoner type of attitude in her kitchen, you know, like that type of grandma. Like, I love it. She'll be cooking something, and it might be a little odd, and I cook like that too. It's just like whatever, and here you go, and there that's in there, and um like not really always just a recipe, like here's what we got, here's what we're gonna make, and this is how we do it. And then she's like, don't be scared, you know. And it's so cute. It's just, she's adorable. I know she's like tough as nails, and that's to me part of her appeal too, because the women that I love most out on this planet are fighters. You're my fighters, you know. That's, I love you for it. You know, I admire you for that. It's not easy to shine in a world where they don't value what the true humanity of a soul is. So for you ladies that are doing that, I admire you. I love you. I appreciate you for that so much. Without ladies like you in my life, and gentlemen that are truly gentlemen, this world would be um, cooked, you know? Putting it in chef's terms. So, cooked, smoked, over and out. I think I'll leave my video on that one today. That's what I want to see to the dark cabal. Cooked, smoked, over and out. So, I love you all. Thank you for being here. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a really beautiful week ahead, because I know y'all deserve it. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.